Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Check this out, I've been playing this game for years and I've only just paid real attention to it. When you press F1 the screen gets a lot brighter, doesn't it? And I was looking at that, and when the GUI is there you can see in the corners there's this dark tint that sort of spreads into the middle of the screen. And for some reason I've only just decided to pay attention to that. But anyway, spoiler alert, we're going to turn around and check out the results. That's right, we won UHC Season 4. Unbelievable. 3 out of 4. I would have never expected that. But there you go. That was the best UHC by far. You guys absolutely loved it. I probably say that after every UHC, but it really was something special. And there's just one thing on my mind, you know. If I hadn't killed Slipgator, I wonder if I would have been able to win it. But it doesn't matter now. It's over. I'm looking forward to the next one. The next one isn't going to be modded. We're going to do modded one day in the future. Still working on that. But the next one is going to have a very awesome spin to it. That's going to make things very different. And I just can't wait for it. We have no idea when UHC 5 is going to be. Probably going to be a little bit of a while. But yeah, when we get round to that, it's going to be awesome. Anyway, we've got things to do this episode. We are going to be going back over to the Guardian farm. And you know what? For a while now, I've been expecting to see some comments saying that, you know, getting fed up at the Guardian farm, when are we going to move on to something else? But I haven't actually seen any of those comments yet, which is crazy. We have spent so much time over there. And you know what? I think today might be the last episode that we spend over there. There is really not much left to do, and I'm confident that I can get it all done today. So, we'll be heading over there in a little bit. But before we do that, I've got to drop off the UHC apples at the other contestants' bases. And you know what? I love the new anvil system in this game. It's awesome. Renaming stuff is really cheap. I came over here getting prepared, expecting to go to the end farm, spending loads of time over there. But of course, things are now really cheap to repair. So these have already been renamed. That means the cost is going to be double. So it costs 2 levels. But you can just, you know, do one thing at a time. And you can do up to a stack of items. So we can rename this. And it only costs 1 level. There you go, we're down to 16. That broke my anvil. Oh well. But there you go. It's really cheap to rename stuff. So I renamed all of these apples with the XP I had. Even managed to repair my pick. And that is just a great start to the day, isn't it? So that saves us going to the end farm. We're just going to go to all of the hermits and drop off these apples. So I'm going to record a little something at each base so you can see I've dropped them off. And then we're going to be heading over to the Guardian farm. Well, this gives me an opportunity to talk about what a couple of the other hermits have been up to. Starting off with Tango Tech, check this out. That looks absolutely amazing, doesn't it? This is the storage system and item filter system for the witch huts up here in the sky. And look at that, you can see all of the items coming through the glass elevator. That looks amazing. And notice these beacon beams as well, they change to purple. They do that when items are coming through down at the bottom. And unfortunately, that's kind of changed because of that bug. That'll get fixed soon, don't worry about that. But this place just looks amazing. And one of the things I like most about this is that the glass in the middle kind of makes the view open, and you can see the border going all the way around. So when you move here like this, you can see the witch hut, the creeper farm, and the other witch hut. It's amazing. It's a really awesome looking project. And check this out. Tons and tons of gunpowder for a secret project that me and him are going to do in the future. But for now, my tongue will have to be tied about that one. Next up, we're at Zombie Cleo's area. Gotta say, this place is absolutely amazing, and every time I come here, it's always just awesome to see. There is now a giant dinosaur here. I, of course, saw her build that in one of her videos, but I've got to say, it's never quite the same until you come here and see it for yourself. It looks really spectacular, and she has just been doing so much stuff in this area that I want to have a quick look around. And I also want to mention that Cleo has started streaming, and if you're watching this, Cleo, you are awesome at streaming. I've tried to do that myself, and I just find it so difficult to focus on playing a game and keeping up with the chat at the same time. But she started live streaming, and I think she's really good at it. And I kind of wanted to mention that to you guys, because I'll of course tweet out when another hermit is streaming. I always do that. But yeah, this place is just amazing. I'm going to spend some time looking around at this. And it's never quite the same as seeing it in a video. I've seen her build all of this stuff, yet when you come over here yourself, it's just much more grandiose, and I guess you get to choose your own perspective that you want to look at things from, right? But yeah, this is a wondrous place here on the server. I love it. Oh, and the aquarium, yes, I saw her build this as well. Once again, when you come down here and see it for yourself, it's just spectacular. These are, of course, the fish that me and Jesper built for the prank. Oh, they're so cool. I love them. What is this place right here? This doesn't look familiar, does it? No, it doesn't. The reason why is because XB Crafted has joined us on Vanilla, and this is his home right here. It is really cool. I like the layout of it. It's a little unconventional, which is cool. And he's got a nice view out the front here. A nice view of a crazy horse head. Yeah, this is awesome. I like this. Anyway, XB Crafted is the newest hermit, and he's joined us here on the Vanilla server, which is awesome. If you fancy checking him out, there'll be a link down there in the description box. But we have one more place to visit now, another apple to drop off. And our last destination today is TFC's base. He was my teammate in UHC4, and I was left with a little bit of a decision to make here, because I could have given him either type of apple. I could have said that he didn't make it to the end, so he wasn't a winner, or I could have said he was part of the winning team, so he was. And when you're faced with a decision like that, you know, just do the nicest thing. Why not? I think it's better to say he was a champion. And when you look at it, if we hadn't gone to the Nether together, I probably never would have been able to kill anyone else, because we did not have enchanted gear or anything like that. And it was a team effort. That's how we won, you know. And so I think that he's definitely a champion. At least he is in my books, because he was my teammate. So there we go. Anyway, it is time for us to head back to the Guardian farm. We have got lots of work to do over there, and I've spent a lot of time wandering around, you know, going to all the different bases. So if I had a minecart, we could have ride the rail, but it looks like I'm going to go on foot. And welcome back to the Guardian farm. This place is absolutely amazing. It has taken us a long time to get here. I've been thinking about how long it has actually taken us, and I think when I decided to build this thing, I didn't really give too much thought as to how tedious, you know, clearing out a massive ocean could be, and then digging out all the space around it. But we've done it, it's in the past, and we are really getting there. So I've been busy. I've been doing some things in between episodes. As you can see, I've worked on these walls over here. And I've got to say, this pattern that you see right here, it's kind of grown on me. When I first built this and stepped back and looked at it, what I didn't like was the high contrast between the white and the dark green there. It kind of made it jump out a little bit more than anything else around it does. The rest of this is quite subtle, probably with the exception of this. There's a bit more of a contrast there, but the rest of it is quite, I guess, soft on the eyes, whereas this is quite harsh because there's a lot of contrast. And I was planning on changing it, and I think what we'll do is at some point build it on this side over here as well. That was the plan, to mirror what we have on that side, on this side. But maybe we'll change out the white for one of the other materials and just see what it looks like with less of a contrast, because it does kind of stand out a little bit and draw your eyes over there. But that could also be a good thing to break it up from, you know, the other colours that we have around here. So I'm not too sure about that, but that's one of the things that I've done. I think it looks alright. And I've also done some caving around here as well, so the rates have really been increased. I've been standing up the top doing lots of farming. Of course, I put lots of the materials into what we've built over there, those sea lanterns and the dark prismarine as well. But I have absolutely tons of materials left over, so we're going to go up there and I'm just going to show you what I have been collecting. So all of these chests over here on the right are filled up with fish. I've actually got a plan for this. I've got something I'm going to do with all of this, and it's going to make you guys laugh. But we're going to save that for another day. Check this out. We've just got tons upon tons of drops in all of these chests. I've even been taking loads out on a regular basis to craft into stuff, and it is just ridiculous. The little bit of caving that I did made a huge difference, and I've still got more to do. I only done a tiny bit. And it's just going to be great. I have done a lot of AFKing though, I've got to say. I've been, you know, whenever I'm on my computer, I've made sure I'm always on here AFKing, so it's made a huge difference. As you can see, we have got plenty of materials to build the rest of this, which is what I want to try and get done in this episode. So what I got to do right now is actually a little bit of prep work, and I like to try and fall down into the water. Oh, I missed it. From up there, it's a little bit of a challenge. Sometimes I've done it, but yeah, what I need to do right now is move all of these chests into the Nether. Now, I was thinking about where could we put all of this. I've just got loads upon loads of stuff like left over from the construction of this thing. It's quite ridiculous how many materials are here actually. And I thought the best place to put this is just the other side of the Nether. It's going to be really easy to transport it through. And then we'll have a little storage area on that side, because I don't want to build a storage area in here. It's never really going to be used, and I don't want to send all of these materials all the way back to my base just yet. I mean, we really don't need to move all of the cobblestone anywhere, right? I mean, we really don't need to keep it either, but it's just one of those things that you do in this game. So first things first, we move all of these chests through the portal, and then I can build what we have on that side over on this one, and then we can start work on the XP farm as well, because once we got the glass in the middle in place, that's going to be how we transport the Guardians up to the top. So we're going to do that next, and we're going to save the wall on this side with the name of the farm till last. Still haven't made up my mind about what the name is going to be, but maybe we'll do that at the end of the episode. Anyway, it's time for me to get to work and to start moving these items through the portal. I'm sure it's going to take me quite some time. I was right, it took me a long time to do, but it's done now. You can see all the chests are gone, but you can kind of see. Also, I've moved the portal all the way up to the top here. Let's pop through and have a look at the storage on the other side. You know, moving this portal actually gave me a little bit of an idea. You see, our storage, here it is kind of centralised by being on this point in the nether. So when I moved that portal, I realised that having the portal up in the sky or down at the bottom, all I had to do was pop through it to get to the storage. So if we had, let's say, a bunch of one-way portals somewhere down the bottom, maybe we've got one on the farm and somewhere in the caves, wherever you are, if you need some materials, all you got to do is hop through a portal to go and get them, because all the items are going to be on the other side. And I found that quite an interesting little concept right there. You know, you spend a lot of time in this game moving back and forth to get materials. Let's see if we can land in it. Oh, I think I actually caught the ladder on the way down there, so that doesn't count. Anyway, that's going to be removed in a bit. So's this thing right here. It won't be long before I decide to remove the beacon, and my plan is to actually put 4 sets of beacons in this. We're going to have one in each corner, so they shine up out of the corners, which I think will look pretty cool. And yeah, what we're going to do next though, I think what we're going to do is build these patterns on the other side. You know what, I'm probably not going to change them. However, I might build one on this side over here with the prismarine bricks instead of the white, or maybe instead of the dark prismarine. When I said white, I meant doughrite. I just couldn't think of the name. Yeah, anyway, so we're going to do this side. We're going to change it up a little bit, see what it looks like. And then once we've done that, we can finally move on to doing the XP farm, which is what I've been really looking forward to doing. You know me, I can be very indecisive sometimes. That looks gorgeous, doesn't it? That really does look lovely. And I got a feeling if we'd have changed the prismarine blocks for the doughrite on this side, so it'd have the dark and the light, it probably would have looked pretty good as well. And I'm just torn right now. I kind of want to go back and tear all of that down and replace it with this. But then I got a feeling once we see this pattern, you know, repeated across the entire wall, it might be a bit big and bold as well. And now that this thing has kind of been there for a while and settled down, it has grown on me. So I'm going to have to make my decision. I know that basically either way it's not going to look too bad, right? So it's probably going to come down to the amount of time it would take to go over there and replace all of those blocks with the prismarine bricks. So I think I've kind of just made up my mind right now by talking. I think we're going to go with this. But this would have looked good as well. I reckon I made the right decision here. This is going to work. It's going to look good. And the next thing for us to do now that this wall has been finished is to build the XP elevator over here. That's going to send the Guardians up into the sky and bring them up there to build an XP farm. So before we do that, what we should actually do is get the water system ready for testing, because this thing can't be powered at the moment. And I just remembered to do something which I've actually already done. If you remember, we had a problem with the dispenser at the end here. Well, I've added the extra repeater over the end there. That should fix that. I'm yet to test it. But what we need to do is to make some sort of switch or button up the top that can bring you know, a signal all the way down here to power both of those. And the way I think I'm going to do that is actually have a sticky piston facing downwards with sticky slime blocks underneath it and a redstone block at the bottom. So when we press that, it's going to extend, you know, down by 12 blocks, and then below the redstone block we could have another piston nearby, and then it could extend it down again. That would also work through the water, and then it could simply come down in here into the cave, and we can attach it to a redstone signal that goes off to either side. So in my mind it's pretty straightforward and easy to do. I've got a feeling there might be something I'm overlooking, but that is the plan for getting a redstone signal down from the top to activate the dispensers. And you know what? This is going to work. I went into a test world, I played around with it for a bit, and it does work. This will transfer a signal downwards. There's a little bit of a quirk to it, so I'll talk about that. But first of all, you may have expected this to have been on the other side, because of course that's where we activate our dispensers from. So I was picturing, you know, what happens once we build this. Then we're going to have a line of redstone that comes all the way across over here. So we're literally going all the way over there and down to activate the dispensers. So what I'm going to do is actually reverse all of the repeaters so they're in the opposite direction and just power it from this side over here. That makes a lot more sense, because then when we have the Guardians at the top here, you got your button for changing the mode right next to it. So let's see this in action quickly. If I press the button and look down, you can see it kind of, you know, activates that one down there. In fact, because I placed that block, you can't quite see it. There you go, you can see it moves the ones down there. It's probably hard to see from here, but trust me, it does. Anyway, I want to show you the quirk that there is to this, because it looked like it wasn't going to work at first, and when I started to play around with it, it became obvious that it would. But if we just place that there, put a sticky block underneath it, and this is the principle, we can move all of the blocks back and forth, so we can come down by 11, the 12th block being a block of redstone. So then we want a gap, so when we press this, the block that's below this is going to be a sticky piston. So when I place this here, it gets an update and it realizes it's extended, and this is where you might think that things are going to go wrong, because when the block is there, this thing is extended because it's bub powered. When it's one block below, it's also going to be extended. So you're probably thinking this one isn't going to activate, but actually if we go up to the top here and just power this thing, you'll see that the state will change, except it didn't do it that time. Let's do that once more. That's interesting. That is behaving differently from the ones over here. I was not expecting that. Let's go down here and place down another slime block. Maybe a couple more actually, because I don't know, this isn't quite the same as what we have over here, is it? And if you look here, you can see the pistons are not extended, or at least that one, the one below it as well. And that's important, but it doesn't seem to be happening on this side. Okay, now it happens. So I added a few more blocks below it, and I got a feeling I now understand what's happening a little bit more. So what I thought was happening before is that when the redstone block was coming down, when it's a moving block, you know, it's not a redstone block, so it's not actually powering it. So when it moves back up, it moves into the bud state and it doesn't update the piston below it. So in that short gap where it's moving back up, this piston retracts and it doesn't realize it's bud powered. So I think one of the reasons it does that for is because it has a little bit of delay itself, because it's pushing all of those slime blocks, but I'm really not sure. But anyway, it does work. That's good to know. And it means we can send a signal all the way down to the bottom. So the next thing for me to do is to redo all of those dispensers, or at least the repeaters above them, wire it up to this thing so we can turn it on and off, and then we're going to build the XP elevator, well, the Guardian elevator, and I've already put in the glass for this as well, just to make building this a little bit easier. I wanted to I wanted to put it somewhere, you know, that looks right, and if we put it on the side here, I felt like it came too close to the wall, and there's no middle spot here because it's too wide, so I decided to put it on the corner like that. And of course there's nothing on the opposite side, but doesn't matter. I think it looks pretty cool, and I'm rambling, so let's crack on with those jobs. Remember a few episodes back we were talking about building techniques? Well, I've got to replace all of these repeaters, and I've got one for you right here. If you hold down shift, then press right click, and notice that I'm facing the edge of the repeater here, so when we click again, it puts down another one. When we try and click once more, it doesn't place anything because we're on the side here, and because we're holding down shift, we're not changing the repeater settings as well. So if we just hold down back like this, then we're going to move along. We can hold down right click, and then we can hold down back as well to strafe, and then if we move over to the left a little bit here, you can see we get a nice angle, and then we move back with a nice speed. Good little building tip right there. Okay, so a large amount of time has passed by. I've done a ton of work here, and we are ready to build this Guardian elevator. Ah, I saw a flash as I moved forward. It was the beacon beam. That makes sense. Okay, so we've got our little slime block thing to send the signal down on one side. That's all been wired up. I'll show you that in a second. And on the other side, what's that? Well, that is actually a ladder. I realised we needed a way of getting up and down here that was permanent, so I decided to build something that would mirror what was on this side, and where we have that air gap, I decided to use a lapis block because it kind of looks blue, like the ocean background, and I think that looks pretty good. That's a furnace there, by the way, not a piston, because you can't place ladders on that. So there was one technical difficulty with putting this through the water, and I found a solution for it. If we go down here, you'll see there's glass, and that's so there's an air block between the two. Otherwise the water goes back in, updates the piston, and that's not good. And we've also kind of mimicked it over here as well by putting glass around, just so it's all symmetrical. I'm going a little bit over the top here, but it's all good. Anyway, let's go down here. And oh, that looks kind of strange because it's all just very, very grey looking down. Yeah, there's a few things to show you on this side. As I said, I wired up all of the... Or did I say that? Well, I wired up, either way, I wired up all of the dispensers, and I've done all of this that we're walking on right here. Loads of sea lanterns and prismarine. It looks very pretty. One of the things we've got to do next is actually put down the water. So you can see all of the repeaters are in place. They have been wired up. We're going to go through that in a moment. I just wanted to do this together here quickly. I'm not going to make you sit through that. I've done it now. Put all the water in place. We are going to go and look at the wiring, and I just realised that I kind of cut off the way to get to this. I did have like a little access tunnel, but where I built this, that is now gone. So this is it right here. The redstone block's going to go down, it's going to power the redstone, and it just branches off to either side and goes all the way over to where the dispensers are. So that's that bit done. What we're going to do next is build the Guardian elevator. And by the way, I think 1 or 2 Guardians might come down while we're building this, because they can land on the beacon, which is still there. One might do it right there. Oh no, he missed. And yeah, they can then bounce around and fall down into the stream, but it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. So the Guardian elevator that we're going to build was made by the Snow Crash, and I'm going to refer to him as he. I think it's actually a group of people, but the guy who makes the videos is awesome. He's got a great way of presenting it, a nice sense of humour, and awesome, I think it's Australian, accent, and I'd recommend checking them out. There'll be a link down there in the description box to their channel and the video that they made on this Guardian elevator, but it's really, really simple and really effective. And I just heard... Oh, I didn't hear a slime, I just placed the block. It makes the slime sound now. So anyway, what happens is when Guardians are on a slime block, they oscillate, which means they kind of jump up and down, and it increases the frequency of them doing that. So they get higher and higher and higher each time. And they'll go as far as 16 or 24 blocks, I think he said. And then what you can do is have a water stream that pushes them into the next bit. So it makes for a very simple and straightforward design. So what we want to do is just put the water in place here. That's going to push the Guardians all the way over onto the slime blocks, so we don't want them to come any further forward. So that's going to be, that's the end of that, I guess, on that side. Yeah, so then they're going to come up by 16 blocks, I think. And I haven't built this before, I'm just sort of doing it as we record here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we place all of those? Good. 8, oh, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... 15. Let's just do 15 and be safe, because I can't remember, and I've got plenty of resources to do this. It doesn't have to be perfect. You could also argue that this is the 16th block as well. So what we want to do now, I think, if I remember correctly, is put down 2 slime blocks. I'm going to go back down there and fill all of that space up with glass. That's actually really important now that I think about it. But what we want to do is place a sign at the back like this, and also signs here. Yeah, that's right. That's using more signs than I thought it would. I wonder why. I might have missed something here. But then we put... Oh, let's stop bouncing. Let's put our ice blocks on the back. And we are ever so slightly bobbing up and down now. It's really weird. And yeah, so the Guardians are going to come up. They're going to go into the water, and they're going to get pushed onto the slime blocks, where they can do the same thing over again. So then what we would have is glass blocks like this going all the way up, another 15 or 16 blocks. And then we have our water on this side pushing them back into the middle. And it's going to take me a little bit of time to do this, so I'm going to just go ahead and do it. An important thing to note with this elevator is that the water isn't supposed to go on the slime blocks. Now, because we started in the middle, it means that the Guardians came up, let's stop bouncing, on this bit of water right here, which isn't the source block, which is flowing over. So it means for the next one, they're going to come up the side here, and then we're going to push them all the way across onto this one. So it's just slightly different than the one below it. But the one above this one will do the same thing. It will come up on this side, so it's going to be just like the other way around, and they're going to come across onto the slimes. That is, I think, pretty straightforward to understand. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to continue building this, and it won't be long before we can test it, which I'm looking forward to doing. There we go, it's finished. I went and watched the video again just to double check the height that they jump up at. It is 16 blocks, which is good, because I was considering tearing this thing down and rebuilding it if it was just off by a little bit, because I'd like it. This thing just came up by 1 or 2 more blocks, but it means that our path is just going to dip down a little bit here so we can interface with the front of the farm. Anyway, it's time for us to test this thing. I've been looking forward to this. Let's press the button. Down goes the signal, and there go the dispensers. It's good to see that that works. And of course nothing's going to happen straight away. It's going to take a moment, but I'm going to stay here, record and observe in case anything interesting happens. And actually, one thing we'll need to do is to put a roof on this bit right here. Let's just put some blocks down like that. That's going to push them over into this gap down here, where they'll be able to jump up and down, but the water will always push them forward. So I think they'll get stuck in there. We can have some half slabs at the front. I've got a couple of those on me, so we can interact with them and throw in potions and stuff like that, which is what I plan on doing. So let's see if anything's happening down there. Can't even see from up here, can we? I think the best way for us to observe them... I was thinking of jumping down then, but we need a way back out because I've cut off our access from the ladder. I didn't think this through, did I? Oh, it's working. I could hear one, and then there it is. Go on, guy. Did I miscount that bit? I guess there's a possibility I might have made a mistake here and there, because he's not going up the whole way, is he? Interesting. I'm gonna double check that I did that right. It would look like I did it wrong because down here we can see they're actually coming up. But this is a sign that things are working. This is good. It looks like I might have to rebuild this a little bit then. What I'll probably do is make it smaller overall and calculate it so we can have them come out at the same height up the top, which will look really cool. But that is good news. That's awesome. And it is finished. Look at that. It is a glorious sight. We have tons of guardians coming up to the top here. And this, I think, is going to be a big success. Just look at this down here. I had to rebuild it all once again, but I got it just right this time. 16 blocks was the height. I made it 14 though. And I did a lot of planning and preparation and made sure that it would come up like this. So we have this gap at the back and then they can drop over at the front, which is awesome because it means that this is done. So we got a trapdoor thing at the front, and I've just realised when I open that, they're going to be able to jump out of there. So I've got to rethink that one. But the plan is to use poison potions. So in the side here we have some right there, poison 2. I'm sure you're supposed to be able to make those go to 20 seconds. But it's 16 on there. You see, I just looked it up on the wiki to find out the recipes because I always seem to forget them for the potions. But these are going to be awesome because they're going to just poison them. They're going to go all the way down to 1 heart, hopefully. We'll have to test that one out. Then we throw in an instant damage potion and kill all of them. Now I was thinking we haven't got like a latch or something to stop new ones coming in there. Well, that's not going to be a problem because once we throw in our potion and kill them all, then the ones that are left over won't get killed next time we use this because it's not a crusher. It's going to poison them until they have like half a heart and then it won't do any more damage. So that is awesome. I have a, really, it's not anything really worth mentioning now that I think about it, but a little bit of a brewing setup over here. I've made a few potions and I brought over tons of materials as well. And all of these things were full up, which is great. While I've been working on that, I've completely forgotten about all of this and probably wasted a whole bunch of drops. But anyway, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, we got 2 things left to do now. This platform up in the sky, made out of cobblestone, not good enough really, is it? And then down there we've got the one wall left to do. But after that, it's pretty much done. We might make a few tweaks or modifications to this, something I might have overlooked. Like the the pistons here at the front, something's got to change with that because that's a 1 height gap. But then this thing will be technically finished. I'm pretty sure that's all we've got left to do. So while I'm waiting for more guardians to come up the top here, so we can kill them and see what the harvest is like, I'm going to work on this top area here. I'm going to build a platform made out of glass. I think I would have liked to have done stained glass, but we've already used a lot of that in this area. So we're going to use regular glass, some sea lanterns. I'm going to make it look nice and pretty. Maybe a bit minimalist as well. But yeah, that's it. We're just going to be finishing up the area up top. And I'll be back with you when that's done. Are you ready for the big, grand reveal? Check this out. Ah, look at that. All of this lovely cobblestone and torches. That's right, I've done absolutely nothing up here. I've actually been working on the wall design down there. I've been doing that on my creative server. I've come up with something that looks absolutely lovely. Cannot wait to go down there and build it. But I am growing a little bit of impatient of waiting around for these guardians. They're not actually coming up here that quick. I haven't been AFKing for too long. I've been AFKing on that cobblestone down there because I had a feeling that when the guardians fall down, what they usually do is they die pretty much straight away, whereas now they're going to go down a whole bunch of water streams and they're going to get lower and lower before they come upwards, and that means they're getting further away from the player. So I've got a suspicion that they're actually despawning a lot, which is why I've been AFKing down there, and I think I might even need to find a spot that's a little bit lower to AFK to get more of these guardians, but we don't have too many at the moment. But I am just really impatient and I do want to try this thing out. So there's supposed to be a button on that block right there, and what's annoying is that I don't even have one in my inventory, so we're going to borrow the one from this side. Oh, did it just... Oh, it looked like it fell down. It went into my inventory. Don't worry. Okay, so there is... Let's just double check. There is a poison potion in there. That's good. Let's stand back because I'm probably going to get hurt by it. There we go, they appear to all be poisoned. And we've got to wait for just 15 seconds now. And I got these damage potions, we might need a couple of these. Let's get these in our inventory. I'm also going to need an escape route, which is nowhere really, except back there. Okay, here we go, they might all fly out. Yep, of course they did. Of course they did. What was I thinking? Look at that. Oh, how silly am I? These guys are probably all one-hit kill as well. Well, that was ridiculous. That didn't work. Oh, do you know, I don't even care. I've had so much fun working on this project, and it's so amazing and awesome. I don't even need the XP, do I? It's just a fun little project to do. And here's another thing, by the way. We can't pick up the items, can we? So what we want to do is have a little gap on either side like that, so then we can move in and pick up the items, which will be cool. So, do you know what I just realised we could have done? If we'd have done this from the first moment, I could have just thrown it down here on the corner. It would have hit them, and then they wouldn't have been able to escape. So that was pretty silly, wasn't it? Do you know what? I'm going to AFK again and try and get some more of these. But next time I will actually be building the bit up the top here. So we might not be able to do that for a while. But there you go. It kind of works, except I don't. Ah. Nope, I still haven't done it, and now it's morning for me, so my voice probably sounds a little bit different. Decided to do some more AFKing while I work on some other things, and let's just do this. There's nothing more to say, is there? Wow, I managed to poison myself. Well, that is brilliant. That is fail number one. I'm sure there's going to be more. Actually, what I want to do is put a little ledge over the edge here, because I've got a feeling that poison, not poison, the damage potion is going to hit me here. They should all now be one hit kill, so let's throw it right there in the corner. There we go, that worked. But it didn't kill all of them. We've got one more potion though. Let's throw it in from this side over here. And we still didn't quite kill all of them. But we can get the XP from the corner here, and the items as well, that's good. So, kind of failed yet again. Let's open this up and let them all out. They should all be one hit kill, look at that. They are. That's interesting. So when we throw the potions in at the corner, it really doesn't do a good job of hitting them all, does it? Because you saw there as they came out, they were one hit kill. Anyway, I'm done with AFKing on this farm. I'm going to change the mode back for now, except I've moved the button over to this side. Right, this time when I come back, this is all going to be finished. And doesn't it look absolutely amazing? I love this. The sea lantern texture is so nice to work with, and I love all of this glass that we're standing on up here. I was just thinking it would look a little bit nicer if it was, you know, joined glass like you have on the mod packs. But this is vanilla. And by the way, if you do want to download the clear glass texture pack, there is a link on my channel. Thought I'd mention that since I get the occasional comment about it from time to time. Of course, this is the only thing I've changed in the game. I just really like the glass like this. And it looks really nice up here as well. And I was just thinking, these sea lanterns, you know, they are really expensive, and it's only because we've got a farm like this that we can use them like this. And it's interesting because Jeb is the guy who added these blocks to the game, and he's made them so they're really difficult to obtain, and he doesn't really like farming in Minecraft, and yet he's put in blocks into the game that would encourage you to farm, I guess you could say, but that's just me observing things right there. So let's have a look at our storage system. I really like this. We have a ring of hoppers that go all the way around, like this, and then back over there. Then the water stream comes all the way out to the edge. You can't even see it. Let's get some cobblestone and jump up and have a quick look. There it is. It comes all the way out to there. So those hoppers will point all the way back into the ring. That's just the way I decided to do it. Maybe not the most efficient or clever way of doing it, but I'm not really bothered. So on the back of the ring, over here, we've got hoppers coming all the way down. And I did try and organise this a little bit. So, well, that's interesting. That shouldn't have any prismarine crystals in, but all of this is just supposed to have prismarine. I'm going all the way over to there, I guess. That would be the last row. Then all of these have prismarine crystals. Then these ones are just kind of a mix of everything. And then over here I've put all of the fish as well. And I've just realised that my sound is down from where we were doing the farming. Let's turn that back up to 60. That's what I usually have it on. So yeah, these ones are fish over here. As I said, I've got a plan for that. And behind them as well, I've also filled up the hoppers with the correct items. Now, this isn't a filter system. It's just a case of with all these items going around, they can get a bit jumbled up. So if I organise them, it means when you take out the prismarine shards from this chest, that's what's going to come back in, which will, you know, be convenient. Although I doubt we're really going to use too many of these items. We've got a plentiful amount. But there is just one more thing for us to do then, is to build the side of the Guardian farm down there. I think I'm going to do a time lapse for that, because you guys are really going to like what I've got in store. And I also gave it some thought about the beacon here as well. The plan was to remove the beacon, to place 4 of them, 1 in each corner. I'm actually changed my mind about that. I don't think it's going to make the farm look particularly nice, having beacons coming out of each corner. And also, we don't really need the effects anymore. I mean, what have we got? Speed, haste, strength, regeneration, and resistance. Now when you're using this thing, you're basically going to be standing up the top here, doing nothing, either waiting for mobs to come up on that side or just collecting your items on the other one. So I think I'm just going to remove the beacon and leave it at that. So we're going to hop down there now. I've got to get prepared, but we're going to build the final part of this farm, which is the wall over there. Well, I'll be revealing the name of the farm. Probably mentioned it earlier this episode. I can't remember if I did or not, but anyway, you're going to find out in a moment. And there you have it, the final part of our farm is complete, and yes, that is the name of the farm. I was asking all of you guys for suggestions in the comments and such. When I was going through and reading them and reading the ones on Twitter, it just popped into my head like Guardfall. It kind of makes sense, you know, the Guardians are falling down. There was lots of like exotic names being suggested, and although those sounded really good, this name just kind of stuck with me, Guardfall. I like it, obviously. Guardians falling doesn't really need an explanation, does it? But when I pictured the font that we have here, I kind of pictured something pixelated like an old computer game. And for the guys on my server that I've shown so far that have seen this, they've all sort of commented that it reminds them a little bit of a computer game. And so I searched for a font online and I found one which was pretty much exactly what I had in my imagination. So this turned out to be pretty perfect. Then as for the design here on the wall, I tried a whole bunch of different materials, and these were the ones that I felt was best. You know, orange being the Guardian's spike colour, that kind of works there. And then we got red and white bits here for the Guardian's eyes, which are white and red, and obviously there's not one next to us that we can look at to kind of, you know, show that, but I'm sure you've all seen them before. So with the red and the white, what I did is make it look like they were falling down. So you got red, white, then a space, another white, then two spaces, and one more white, and that to me kind of gives that falling look. So yeah, Guardians falling down, Guardfall. It all makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And that's the final part right there. You may also notice I have removed the beacon, and I gotta say, it looks really nice actually not having the beacon there in the middle. It's kind of ugly and obscuring the view of the sides, and now that it's all complete, gotta say, I really like it in here. And look at these Guardians falling down. I still think it could be a little bit more efficient, but I don't know. I've done a lot of caving, and it's certainly pretty good. And I'm happy with it, man. This whole project has been absolutely awesome. And yeah, there we go. I'm not going to put the Guardians, the beacons back in. I was talking about that earlier, and I think I mentioned it a while ago. I was going to put like a group of 4 in the corner underneath here somewhere, but I think that will make it look a little bit ugly. So that is pretty much everything with this done. And I hope you don't mind the longer episode. I decided to do this because I just wanted to get it all finished in one episode. We have spent a lot of time over here. You guys have been patient, so I thought, you know, a longer special episode will do. And what we're going to do for next week's episode, which should be a Tuesday, is I'm actually just going to do a promotional video for this. That'll be like a little 2 to 3 minute video with some flying around kind of shots, showing off all the different features of the farm, you know, how much materials went into building it, stuff like that. And this is something that I did a long time ago on Asuma's World for my Atlantis project. When that was finished, I decided to make a promotional video for it, and I always thought it'd be a good idea to do that again sometime. And this is like a big project, and it just kind of came to mind as we were finishing it that maybe we would do that. So that video is going to be coming out on a Tuesday. If you do catch it, be sure to leave it a like, maybe share it or give it a favourite, something like that. It's a promotional video, so the idea is just to kind of get it out there a bit and let people see what I've been doing with this project. So I'm probably going to post it to Reddit and Planet Minecraft and stuff like that. Try and get my name out there a bit, because I think people will be really interested in this project. It has been absolutely fascinating and a lot of time and effort has gone into it. And thanks guys for sticking along with me while I've been doing this. We have spent a lot of time over here, which is why this episode has been so long. I just thought rather than do 2 episodes, we're just going to do it all in one go. So you'll see that video on Tuesday, and that'll be the last video on this project for a while. We'll probably come back here to pick up some items and talk about it a little bit, but that's pretty much it. We're going to be moving on to something else next episode. So that wraps up this one. This has been an awesome project. Hope you've enjoyed it. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.